Gotta channel that. No. All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1. Hey, what's going on, everyone? Welcome to episode 281 of the KBMOD podcast. We are right in the middle of E3 season 2017. It is June 11th, 2017 right now. We've just, we're hours off of Xbox's E3 conference, as well as EA Plays conference. So we're definitely going to be diving into those, talking about all the recent news. I'm joined by my good friends, APL Fisher, and a couple other associates. I don't know if I'd really call them friends of mine.
Wow.
We've got
Gross.
Brandon. No, I'm just kidding. We've got Brandon, aka Volition, and Brad, aka Hutchison.
AKA Hamster Police.
AKA Hamster Police. Rocking that beautiful picture.
Hamster Police sounds like a perfect CSGO clan name. I might have to steal that. Hamster Police. I like that.
Hamster Police?
I'm telling you, Scott, I want to make a team, man. Hamster Police.
Good.
Let's go.
Yeah, the Hamster Police playing for the ESL Pro Finals. That'll be good.
I thought of a great gamer tag today. So if I'm on the team, I definitely want to be known as Womb Fiend.
That's so good.
Because I was thinking about like Cervix Pounder 420. So it'll probably be like
is that what you were thinking of?
Oh, that was the
I appreciate knowing the lineage of how you came up with that name.
The origin, my inspiration for it, yeah.
Womb Fiend is good. That is good. I like it.
Womb Fiend 1738. That's got to be it.
Okay.
All right.
I have to say your intro. I obviously I'm back this week, everyone. Hello, but Katie asked to do the intro, and he did a bang up job. That was good.
Ooh.
I don't really have anything to say. You had a few here and there, but I knew it was because you were where you were going to go next. But overall, it was very clean. It was very clean.
Yeah, it just needs that polish, but the raw potential is definitely there.
You definitely have some raw talent. That's definitely for sure. I definitely
just don't
it needs you
watch
saying it
a
few times in front of a mirror before we go live, and you'll be fine.
Yeah.
Every time I take a shower, I say it 30 times in a row. I go through a hypothetical intro. That's my training. And I still fuck up somehow. But yeah, no, it's good. We
took a break last week, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
So we are back this week, and then I wasn't on the episode previous to that one. So I've been gone we've been gone for, I guess, technically 1 week, and I've been gone for 2 weeks. So it's good to be back. So how's everybody been doing? What have we been up to? We had a week off. Any happenings here? Because I'm excited to get to the section where we talk about what we've been eating, because I have had some time off. So I did do my homework, and I did finally try out the naked chicken chips. But I'm not going to tell you how they tasted yet, because we're not changing the order. So first, before we get to my review of Taco Bell's one of their newer products, what else do we get up to? Anything
job.
exciting? Yes, Brad talked about that.
Started my job. Yeah, so I'm doing digital sales assistance with a company called Sinclair Broadcast Group. Some of you may have heard of it, but it's literally the largest broadcasting company in the United States.
Nice.
Chances are, if you watch the news or read news articles or something, they probably own that station or something similar to that. So I'll be doing that locally and some national clients as well, or at least getting local clients online, basically nationally. But yeah, so that's kind of exciting. I was talking to Scott about this, but I think one of the biggest drawbacks is I can't shit post on Twitter anymore.
And when he says he's been talking to me about this,
can't or choose not to because it's not in your best interest.
Well,
it's not in my best interest.
When he says he contacted me, let me tell you how this conversation went. I will read you where was it? Literally, I'm just sitting there. My phone goes off. God space damn in all caps it. And I'm like, and then he goes, I was afraid of this. And I'm like, oh, okay, that's a pretty rough. That was a pretty rough. Oh, no, that wasn't even the start. Hold on, was it the start? Oh, God. Okay, no, this is how it started. I'm sorry. This is further up in the conversation. Fuck. Okay, so I know it's late, but this is serious. That's how he started it. So I was like, what the hell? So I was like, oh, God, is he in trouble? Am I in trouble? Like, did my nudes finally leak?
I will.
Like, did his nudes leak? Like we said that it was on a secure server, so this
As it
shouldn't be
turned
an
out,
issue.
it was something much worse.
Much worse. And so he goes, I followed a bunch of accounts from, I guess, the Twitter account of the company, right?
Yeah, so basically, like the people that work at the station and stuff, and I don't know what was going through my head, but yeah.
Yeah, and he said, now I realize I can't post dank memes. Should I make a new Twitter for all the shit posting I want to do? And I was like, I'm glad that this qualifies as a fucking crisis, but I understood him. And I
think
said,
everyone
I
goes
urge
through everyone goes through that phase in their life when you're like, wait a minute, do I make another account? Do I try and manage this other personality? Because now, you know, the stakes are higher on your personal account. But I gotta tell you, that's a tough life.
It is tough.
See, the thing in my mind was, you know what? It only took me a job, like getting a job for this big ass broadcast company to get myself Twitter verified. So that's what I'm gonna try. So like that, you know, my ambition is, you know what? I'm gonna try to get verified. I doubt I'll get verified, but you know what? That's something Twitter works with. There's a lot of these broadcast companies to get like.
So wait,
quote,
so you're saying that you have to clean up your feed so that you get verified? Do they even look at your?
No. So my strategy here was, oh shit, I'm with this broadcast company. I'm gonna get verified. So I'm gonna try, and so I was like, hell yeah, maybe I'll tell somebody that works with social media accounts to get like our news anchors, which have like 1,000 followers or something, to get them verified.
Right.
Like maybe I can get verified. But then, so I followed all these like broadcast the other broadcasters and stuff like in my workplace. And then I realized, oh no, what have I done? Because
Well, I mean, clearly, if you get verified, you're piecing out of that job immediately, because at that point, you're now a social media celebrity.
Oh,
can I just say, can I rant real quick on the whole verified politics joke of a fucking being verified has absolutely nothing to do with merit. And I mean, unless you're like a true celebrity, it's obviously all about who you know for like everything else. There was literally somebody that knew, I'm talking about back in the Machinima days, all right? There were people that were in the fucking accounting jobs at Machinima that were getting their accounts verified because they knew they had this contact up at Twitter. So as much as I know people love the blue check mark, and this sounds like I'm coming from a very bitter place, I don't. I don't give a shit about it. But it's like people, I mean, I'm Brad. Hey, listen, man, more power to you. I hope you get verified. But at least back in the day, it used to be such just like, I know it's a lot harder to get verified than it used to be because the platform's way bigger. But it was just like you had to email this dude and he would verify you pretty much around the Machinima time. So it was like that kind of.
No, Scott, it's literally a race to get verified before you do. So I mean, that's
is that what we're doing?
If you're the first member of this podcast to get verified, I'll be very impressed.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say, Brandon, I feel like if you wanted to get verified,
you probably could.
Hey, I mean, tell me what I need to do. You know, I'm not above pulling strings.
I'm sure there's somebody at Twitch that has contacts up at Twitter that could get you verified.
I'm sure there is.
I don't know who to tell you to talk to. I just remember it was just you had to have a name of the person and hit them up, and they were like, "Oh, I can do that." Do a couple batches.
I would only do it for the good of the cast.
Anyways, so yeah, luckily I realized that like a couple weeks ago I nuked literally thousands of my tweets and favorites, and so we're in the clear. But I did make secondary Twitter accounts to shitpost with.
Did you at least back up your tweets first, like a private archive?
I saved the archive, but I don't know why I need it, but yeah.
So it sounds like there's some really incriminating tweets there. Like,
you want to talk about incriminating tweets? Okay, I mean, Brad, this is in relation to shit posting, but people found some tweets of mine about, playful, but about iJustine from like 2011, where I used to, let's just say, mock her. And they went during my stream.
Those people were me.
Oh, did you found them?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. No, you did. I'm saying, wait, you found the ones in my stream this week?
No, but it's. I mean, it's a Twitter search away.
Oh, it is a Twitter search away. Yeah, no, but they were digging ones that I had totally forgotten about. And like, there were some pretty good ones though too. I made a whole Toby Turner quip about. Anyway, I won't say them now, but some of them I was ashamed of. Some of them I was proud of. But I was like, I totally understand. Like, if I had to So I can empathize with your situation. Luckily, I'm just, my entire existence is basically shit posting.
I was
So
gonna say you have to
I don't
everyone
know.
comes to that point where you're like, wait a minute, do I want to have a professional Twitter account, or do I want to have two accounts, or do I want to just say, forget it, I'll take the consequences if they come, and Scott has
Right.
clearly made his choice.
I have.
I try and kind of skirt that line. I have a pretty
Yeah.
safe feed.
Yeah, you
but others I've seen so many people try and do like the
Mhm.
dual Twitter account thing or try and clean it up. It's very difficult to do. Sometimes when people want a meme, it just comes out.
Yeah, can't hold it in. But so
I
did you
was,
end up deciding, Brad? I'm sorry, I know I cut you off with other stories, but did you decide what you're doing? You have a separate account or what?
Yeah, I have a separate account.
Okay. So is this where you pimp your separate account so people will follow you, or you're not gonna?
No,
do it?
remember, so you gave me the advice of like
Yeah,
creating something that I can't be associated with.
that's
So,
true. I did actually. That's smart. Yeah,
Yeah,
I was
so-
saying
you have to keep the alternative account secret and just you
Yeah.
tweet for you.
exactly.
Exactly. That's what. So whenever I get that itch to shitpost, that's where it's going. So.
Okay.
And then when I have like a very calculated, you know, what am I trying to say here?
Meme, shitpost.
Yeah, just very timely shitpost.
Yeah.
That goes to the main. But just for like retweeting bullshit or maybe something a little non-PC, maybe that'll go to my secondary.
Well, here's the play, Brad. Okay, your secondary account, right?
Hit me.
You post, and that's your trial run, right? But if something takes
Mm.
off, right? If something takes off like crazy, and you get a ton of engagement, you retweet it on the main account, and no one knows it's you because it's already got so much engagement that it's reasonable that you could have just found it out there on the internet.
Yeah, I don't know. I think just even by association, when you like retweet something, that's basically I don't know. That's a whole conversation for itself. But
It is. I don't envy your position. I'll just say, yeah, definitely a tough. How is the job so far? And I mean, I know you just started.
it's
But
very good. It's busy.
Yeah, busy.
But like I've hardly had like I've been training all week, and next week I'm going to be training even more. And it's like a new role for the station, so it's pretty crazy, but in a good way, and it's totally up my alley. So I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying it a lot, and so yeah, I think I'll be sticking with this for a while, as long as I can help it, of course. But
Glad to hear you found
Yeah,
a job
that's
that
good.
you enjoy. That hopefully is the start of a long and illustrious career.
oh, you know what? I'll be going to land, boys. That's the other thing. Extra
Fantastic.
life land.
Awesome.
Yes,
That would be a
so-
great segue
That
if
is a
we
perfect-
were at that
Oh,
point, but
not
we're
yet.
not.
It's a good-
We're trying
You
to
know what?
obey
But-
the document here.
we are trying to obey the doc.
All right. Well, let's. I can't wait any longer, Scott. Tell me about your experience.
Let me hear this.
Let me tell you. Let me tell you about my experience with the Taco Bell naked chicken chips. So I went in expecting to actually. I didn't go in with any expectations.
Can I ask real quick? Do
Yeah.
you really think that it's necessary for them to have naked in the title, or do you just think that they have that there to make it sound more provocative?
No, so I think it's brilliant because I remembered naked chicken chips sticks out to me. I don't know if it makes it any more palatable, but I think it is to be a little bit edgy, but also to be more memorable than just chicken chips. Because I don't think I think chicken chips sounds worse than naked chicken chips. I think adding the naked makes it a little more. You know what I mean? Like chicken chips sounds kind of like just processed. I don't know. Not that I wouldn't eat them anyway, but I do feel like the naked adds something. So I'm sure it was calculated.
I'm sure,
Obviously,
yeah.
well, not everything is, but so I went in not really expecting all that much. Obviously, a lot of people. So I've talked to people since trying them, and a lot of and giving my review, and people were like, well, "Doesn't it come with like a cheese sauce?" And I was the same way. I was like, "Is this going to be good?" It seems kind of weird, right? Because what you feel like you're essentially eating is like a a chicken nugget in a triangle form. So it's processed chicken, deep fried or whatever. And I have to say, I actually really like them. and I didn't expect to really enjoy them. And it is something that I would definitely, if they stick around, I would order again. And I think it all worked. I think the texture of it, it's not straight up. I mean, it's not straight up like a chicken nugget. It is very similar, but it's got a little spice to it. It's got a little kick to the chips if you don't eat them. If you eat them, even in spite to me of the sauce.
Yeah, they're a little spicier than I expected.
Yeah, they got some heat to them, and I actually really enjoyed them. I didn't expect to. It was like definitely kind of a sleeper situation. I was like, I'm probably gonna have these. They're gonna be one off. Like I would be like, I probably wouldn't get them again. But now that I'm talking about them, all I want to do is get out of this chair and go to my Taco Bell, which is unfortunately a mile and a half down the road, and order a 12-pack, because you can order a 12-pack of them, boys. They got the 6-pack and the 12-pack.
Yeah.
I got the 6-pack for the first time.
So do they remind you of the Burger King?
You said that, Brad, and I on one sense, I agree with like the texture of how they feel in your mouth. I know I'm going real deep on this, but not necessarily in the way that they taste, because I think whatever formula they changed up. Yeah, I think there's some spice to them. I don't know. There's something different about it to me.
Well,
but I
so
can see the similarity.
I didn't eat them with like the nacho cheese. I just had them as is. So did you have?
I think the cheese actually works.
I think the cheese
better
is
than
like
I
a
expected.
big component. Agreed.
I'm just saying though, does the nacho cheese make it different enough to?
I wouldn't if there was no side sauce, I don't think I would have. To me, that is a major component. I think I would have come away with what you said. I don't think I would have ordered them again if they didn't come with a sauce. I think that is a vital component, personally. I mean, I think, Brandon, would you agree? I think that was a big part of it.
The cheese, if I recall correctly, the cheese was kind of part of that that spiciness, and that's what I feel like made it kind of a little bit of a unique taste compared to just normal chicken tenders. So yeah. I mean, I think the cheese is like part of why I enjoyed it. But I also didn't have it with any other dipping sauces, because that's the only one they give you. So yes. I do need to do like a more thorough investigation with my normal dipping sauce repertoire.
Yeah. I don't know. It's probably marketing. It probably has nothing to do with the fact, but I really did. They managed to sway me in the sense they took me from going, that's a weird thing to order from Taco Bell, to like, that made sense to my palate in some weird way, because I think the cheese sauce and the spice, and them being a little bit, having a little bit of spice to them. It just, not that Taco Bell is even Mexican. It actually doesn't fail in Mexico, as we know, but it fit with the rest of kind of the food that they have there for me. So
it went nicely with like the tacos I ordered. It's like it's not the only thing you'd get there probably, but it went nicely with the other things I got.
I agree. Yeah. So I give it. I mean, I don't know. Did you give it a number rate? I don't know if we did a number rating, because we all. Did you have them, Katie? I forget if you had them too.
I didn't give it a number rating. I just gave it like a thumbs up, right? Like I think this is the thing I would try if I were you, if I went to Taco Bell.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Katie, you really need you have a Taco Bell around you, right? I was saying.
I do, but I don't really go to it.
You need to, this week, man. This week, just go to Taco Bell. That's like $3-something or something. Get a 6-pack.
Okay.
And just let me know.
What's it called? The naked chicken chalupa.
No,
the chips. Okay.
No, not the chalupa. Don't get the chalupa. Yeah, naked chicken chips, and make sure you use the dipping sauce that it comes with. And I want to
for sure.
I want to know what you think.
I will do that, and I will report back.
Okay. So what else besides me eating naked chicken chips? Did anybody else eat anything that was illuminating or that they enjoyed this week or even last week?
I had a margarita. This is my girlfriend's and my 8-year anniversary. So we went out to dinner and had a fire brick oven margarita pizza and went to go see Wonder Woman.
Cool. So first of all, tell me about your margarita pizza. Was it delicious?
It was delicious. It was, I mean, they do here in the Northwest. I mean, if it's not like natural, I mean, like all the hipsters just,
Oh, I'm sure.
scoff. So, but it makes for really good food. I mean, like everything is great. Like I have a hard time going to a place lately, like not having a good meal. But that being said, usually it's kind of spendy too. But like, yeah, it was great. It was fresh. It was, that was the place I sent Scott a picture of like a Moscow mule, but instead of
My go-to.
ginger beer. It was green tea, and that was great.
That sounds just hipster enough, but I mean, I'm sure it was good.
It was, yeah. But yeah, that's kind of what I had to eat, and then I for a chaser, I had some sweet salty popcorn at the movie theater. So
My God, it's so goddamn hipster. How
I'm just kidding.
okay. How was Wonder Woman? What did you think of it?
You know what? It was actually decent. I would say it's not my favorite film out of the theater. There's definitely some cheese factor there, but I was reminded, like, damn, DC offers a great like, I'm just excited to see more DC movies, I think.
Yeah.
I think Marvel's going off to the funny sells well, so we're gonna do nothing but funny stuff now, which we saw with like Guardians of the Galaxy, and now we're seeing like the new Thor's definitely poking at the comedic aspect of film, where Wonder Woman was very much more serious, and it felt like a true superhero movie, and it was great. It was a movie theater movie, like something I wouldn't watch again, and I would probably recommend maybe just go and see it in theaters. Off the top of my head, I'd probably give it like a 7 or an 8 out of 10. A 7 probably, but
Pretty strong. That's what I'm hearing pretty much across the board. I also feel like a lot of people, because of previous, there haven't been that many movies that they've gotten right. That this one, just that it's competent, helps bump the rating up.
yeah, and I feel like it's going to do well in the box office, and it's just refreshing too to have a female protagonist as well.
Yeah.
It was great.
Cool.
The audio was good. Somebody in chat said that the audio was great. The soundtrack was great. The overall cinematography was great. It was generally a pretty good movie. But
Nice. All right.
Cool.
And if
Yeah.
nobody's been, sorry, Katie, go ahead.
Oh no, I didn't need anything noteworthy, but I did a couple things. I went and saw Guardians of the Galaxy 2 also, and yeah, I didn't like that as much as the first movie, but it was still a pretty good movie. It was a lot more goofy than the first one. Like, they definitely went for comedy a lot more, but I think it's better because it got pretty emotional towards the end. But yeah, I thought that was a good movie. Have any of you, besides Brad, you guys watched that one? Or...
I have not seen it. I have not seen.
Okay.
No, heard good things though.
Gotcha.
Spoiler alert: Guardians of the Galaxy is all about daddy issues. Every single character has daddy issues. But anyways,
Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah,
You just did
after
spoiler
watching-
alert, then you ruined the whole movie because you didn't put any time in between. I'm gonna have to edit 10 seconds of silence for people to turn their devices off very quickly.
Warning alarms. No, but I also went out and bought a fight stick. I'll grab it real quick. Yeah, it's the Hori Rap 4. Let me grab it real quick.
Well, Katie's
I'm glad we
grabbing
can
that.
just edit this out.
Yeah, that's a great podcast.
So right now, Katie Zen is reaching for his fight stick. He is holding it up. It is red, very red. Oh, shiny.
a nice looking fight stick.
It is nice. It's nice looking. You been playing Tekken 7 on that thing, dude, or what? Oh, he's
Have you
pointing.
tried
to the
putting
buttons.
up your butt.
Okay, he's returning back to his seat. He's putting his headphones on.
And
I'm
the headphones are back on? Or are you
Did-
helping out the
did-
audio listeners? Yeah.
Yeah. Did you play Tekken 7 on that thing, or what? Or what have you?
No, not Tekken 7. I've been playing a lot of Skullgirls on that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I really want to take the time to get like good at that game because that game is just awesome. And, I played some Street Fighter. I'm probably going to pick up the latest Guilty Gear, like XR Rev 2, I think. So that looks really fun. But yeah, it's
Well, I
a
definitely
really
think,
good stick so far.
I think a fighting game with the word guilty in it and the fact that you do abuse your own stick quite a bit is a perfect match for you.
One in this, yeah, that's perfect for me.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You,
but I have to
there was
pick
actually a stick
emos.
joke in the pre-show that we didn't. I guess we weren't live yet, but I made another
Yeah, well-
joke out of the fight stick. But no, it's good, man. I'm
One of
glad.
the
I have a
perks of
fight
being
stick.
on,
I have a pretty nice
on the
Razer
podcast.
fight stick they sent me. I just haven't taken the time to like
Oh, really?
get used to it, or because I mean I would love to get decent at a fighting game, but it's just so
That's
much.
never
anyway.
gonna happen.
No, there's so much time you have to play. I mean, even once you
Yeah.
get past like learning stuff, it's just so much practice. I feel like to to get really good.
Yeah,
It's really weird that you got a
practice,
fighting
and
stick
then
for Rocket League, but
Rocket. Yeah, I mean, ooh, I'll probably try that out sometime just for shits and giggles. But yeah, it's so much of it is is like practicing and like getting
Yeah.
one character down, and then learning how every character like interacts with another character and what counters
Right.
what.
Yep.
Because like I'll play Skullgirls, and I think I'll play like Valentine, and I'll do like I think I'm doing pretty well, and that'll go against like there are like two characters so far, like Big Band and Eliza, which like I just failed miserably against them. Like Eliza has like a grab that can get you from across like anywhere in the map or in the stage. And there's like a lot of stuff to deal with. But yeah, I have friends that all they do is put in time to fighting games, and
Yeah.
they excel. It's crazy. Like they hit up tournaments and stuff. But
That could be you, Katie. Just keep at it, dude. You're young.
be me.
You're young yet.
Oh,
You're
I
not
can't.
30 years old, man. You're spry. You can. I believe in you.
I need to be the best I can at fighting games before I hit my physical peak.
Right. How old are you right now? 21?
20.
22? Oh, you're 20. Okay.
20. I'll be 21 in like a month.
Okay.
But, yeah.
So yeah, you've got a lot of time to get there. All right. Well, let's just stick with you. What have you been? You're talking about playing Skullgirl. So that's some of what
everyone
you're playing.
pick their favorite game from this week, because we have so much E3 news. Like,
Yeah, we have to get to it. You're right.
we have to get to it.
Okay.
Oof.
Go for it. Pick what your favorite thing.
Oh, okay. I need to tell this story. I was streaming a couple nights ago, and I was playing CS:GO, but I was playing Jailbreak, and I was like for entertainment purposes of the stream. There was a member on the team.
Yes.
Oh, this is a great story. There was a person on one of the teams that their name was Jessica, and their picture is like this like hot scene girl. And I was like, all right, boys, we're gonna drop some moves. And so I was like hitting on her the game, and then she said like, do you want to play some of the Guardian missions together? And I was like, we're in, boy. And she sent me like a request on Steam, and like and I was like,
I heard
we're
tell
in
from
there,
the story,
gentlemen.
Katie, that you said you would literally pay for the Guardian DLC if you meant you could play with her.
Well, here's the
wow,
thing.
you're one of
I was
those.
under the impression that the Guardian DLC would be like $2.99 or something. To pick it up. If it was like $10-15 for like a pass or something, I wouldn't pay that. But like if it was like $2.99 or something like that, I'd be like, I mean, that's nothing. You know, it'd be for the purpose.
Is it fair to
for
say
the
that you were
entertainment of
feeling,
the stream? No.
Oh, okay. You weren't feeling
Yeah,
particularly parched or thirsty at that moment or that juncture.
Well, here's the thing. If I'm on stream and then it gets to the point where, oh, I need to spend $2.99 to not continue this funny bit, like, you know, I'm gonna buy that.
I got you. No, you were going with it. I feel you.
Yeah, that was great. And so we finally get into the clip, and they haven't been using their voice chat, which is a pretty telling alarm. But I had faith. They'd just been in text, and we joined the game, and yeah, I had faith, and I said like, I forget what I said, but they start talking, and it's like, yeah, we just have to last against this. And I start like, I got completely catfished.
Yeah. PC just put it in
the
chat.
clips in chat. Oh man, I'm definitely gonna edit it and post it. But yeah, it was just hilarious. And I ended up talking to them, and they were saying like they do this all the time, and they said they have like boyfriends that they had like 2 amazing knives. And like they said that they'll just gift them because they play Being This Girl. And I'm like, damn, you're a piece of shit. Like
that's actually really smart. I mean, again, we can talk about. I mean, there's suckers out there. If they're
it's devious, but you know, if you're on a very limited budget, there's no better way to get free stuff than just like rolling a female avatar in a game.
Yeah,
I remember playing Star Wars Galaxies. My main was a female character, and just like the assumption, and obviously this was like a lot of years ago, and so I feel like people fell for it even more than they do now. And the assumption was just like that you were a girl, and I didn't even roll the character thinking that. I was just like, oh, okay, you know, the character model looks nice, and if I'm playing an MMO for many hours a day, I'd rather look at a female than a male. But then it actually ended up being kind of annoying because when you're interacting with people over text, they just assume you're female. So that there were some awkward situations that came from that.
I bet.
Dude, that's gonna be my new Twitter handle. Holy shit! Like I'm gonna pretend to be a girl and get free shit. That's awesome.
Dude, if you see my name is like Jasmine or like something like that, yeah, just, you know, it's me. but play the game. He was just playing the game, and there's some respect there. But
So your answer is going to be CS Counter-Strike then. That was your
CS:GO, and then also in another jailbreak game, I told everybody to call me Daddy, and then for like the entire like half hour spent on that server, like literally everybody in the server was calling me Daddy, and it was just hilarious. But yeah, CS:GO is my pick.
I feel like this jailbreak game mode seems to be doing very odd things to your psyche.
Yeah, that's right.
One
moment you're getting
Daddy.
catfished by someone who's pretending to be a female. The next second you're asking people to call you Daddy. Like what is going on in your life where this is where you out your sexual frustration?
In jailbreak. What goal am I going for? No, I'll take what I can get. I don't know, but yeah, that's all. I played a shitload more, but we have a lot to talk about. So.
Yeah, we do. We should. Okay, so Brad, what about you? Did you play any games this week?
Just PUBG, man. The VSS is a baller, by the way. The new
it's so fucking good.
Really, you had success with that? I do not have luck with that. I gotta practice with it more, maybe.
Maybe you should like look at the site and where you're aiming. But yeah,
the nice thing with it is that no one can hear you from anywhere.
Dude,
it doesn't matter if you hit your target or not, because you have exactly as many chances to hit them as you have bullets, because they will have no idea where you are.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So PUBG, that game still, again, man, I hate to say that I'm right, but actually I love to say it, but all the naysayers about PUBG, nah, dude, it'll be dead.
Oh, I mean, now we got that sweet Twitch Prime loot in PUBG.
Dude, Twitch Prime integration.
Completely
every
kitted
patch,
out.
Every patch, the game is overall improving. My performance is a lot better, actually, in that game than it was even just a month ago. I don't know, boys. It seems like they're doing it right. And what do we say? How long have we been saying? I'm not saying H1Z1's dead or anything like that, but I'm seeing Die 1 H1Z1 converts, man, loving PUBG. I'm seeing it every day. So anyway, feels good. Just like I called Discord all those years ago when we were one of the first users, man. KBMOD in my channel.
You sound so old.
I do, don't I? I am old. I'm Brad. I have to sound how old I am.
This is a
I
good
remember when
episode
I said
for that.
Discord.
I remember I called it. No way. Find the clip. Called it.
Well, this is when your knowledge comes in handy, because talking about E3 stuff, like you can relate it to the past events when some people weren't alive a few years ago to see that E3. So
who regularly listen to our cast, some 3 or 4 year olds definitely weren't alive for that.
The people in elementary school, they don't remember E3 in 2011.
That's right. That's true. All right, Brandon, what about you? And then I'll go.
I've just been playing PUBG. That's it. I'm still just really enjoying it. We played squads quite a bit this weekend. I got we were playing 4-man squads, and everyone, like, our first person died early, so we had 3, and then we got kind of sandwiched on a beach, and my 2 teammates died, and it was just me with about 25, 26 people left. But I had a suppressor, and I was pretty kitted out, but I was suppressed, and so I wish this was recording, because those moments where afterward you're like, oh man, I wish that was saved for posterity. But we were around a beach, and I sort of maneuvered around the edge of the circle and was slowly kind of taking people out while watching people further away fight each other, and just kind of like really picking my fights strategically. And it came down to the very end, and I mowed down 2 guys that were in a squad together, and I won it. Nice. So that was like one of the best wins I've ever had, because like 25 people left in squads, and I soloed it. That's pretty
it's
sick. Like you honestly just need one of those games, and it's like, yep, I'm good for another few weeks.
It really is, man. You get one nice win, and the hook's gonna deeper. It's like, man.
And the game I played with, I think it was YouTube and Sham, where it was all up to me, and I redeemed myself.
Oh yeah, you did. Yeah, you did redeem yourself.
Yeah, that's getting a nice win like that. It feels great. I haven't touched the game since then.
You're like,
you got to go out on top.
Mm-hmm. You don't want to fall into a rut and then just, I guess I'll stop playing. No, you got to go with a bang.
Yeah. All right, and I'll go. I'm not proud of this. I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna come clean. All right, so I reinstalled League of Legends on my computer a couple days ago,
Oh,
and
Thanks for watching episode 281 of the.
yeah, and so this is basically what I came to on this. I haven't played the game on stream or anything like that. It's not a game I'm going to stream, and I set a couple rules for myself. But I don't know what it was. I was just kind of like watching some streams, and I was like, man, I kind of miss. Like I miss not having any MOBA that I play at all. Like, and you know what? As much as I love to shit on League, I did enjoy it. So I have been playing just at night if I'm awake or if I'm not going to bed right away. I'll play some League. I'm playing a lot with Timmy at the Q, our boy. By the way, his birthday today. Happy birthday! Give him a shout out. But and my rule is I just play with friends and I don't play ranked and we just play normals and that's it. And I've stuck to that and I've had a blast. And even we've lost a lot of games. We've won a few games, but at no point did I feel the toxicity that League really gives you when you try to play ranked or go real serious with it. I finally think I've gotten to the point that I can just play it casually for fun, and you know, it's just I feel good. I feel good. So that is back in my gaming diet, and we'll see how it goes. I'm hoping. I almost feel like I need the accountability thing that Brandon talked about when he was getting back into WoW, where it's like you guys need to ask me, like, did you play ranked? Have you played by yourself? Like, I haven't logged onto the client, and if nobody's on, I'm not soloing. I'm not doing any of that. People have to be on to play it.
Yeah, it's like when you know, you got to ask if your friend is drinking alone. Like, look, it's fine.
Exactly.
We can drink in a social setting, but like it gets dangerous when you're drinking alone.
Exactly. So that
I was going to say earlier when you were talking about like incriminating tweets, I was watching old episodes of Inbox, and there was a moment when you said, I forget what the question was, but your answer was like League of Legends because MOBAs are our future.
Did I say that?
Oh my God, this is the best.
Yeah, I was really in the. There was a period for like 2 years where
I remember that. I remember you were a different man than you are today.
I was very different. Yeah, I'm not going back to that, but no, it is nice to have at least you know, a MOBA back in my life. So yeah, so that's it. I think that's going to be it for what we've been playing. We could talk more, but we do want to move on to all the E3 stuff that we got to cover, and but we don't want to forget about what's going on in KBMOD.
If you're into MOBAs, maybe you want to build a new PC for the hottest new MOBAs to run them at 144 hertz.
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, we finally released some new PC build guides after months of neglecting to do them. We don't really have an excuse for that, but the good thing is, I think we made some nice changes to our build guides that make it a little easier for us to maintain and do them each month. And then also, I actually think they're a little more meaningful than they were before. So we rolled out some new guides and we changed a few things about them. So there's no longer a $500 build, because chances are if you're listening to this, you probably care enough about games that you're looking to spend more than $500. $500 is kind of that it's how do I put this? Like people.
Well, we took it off the block because we were like, would we recommend to a friend that
Right.
you know, we would play on like this kind of system?
Yeah.
And like the return you get from a $500 build, you're gonna be feeling the itch to upgrade like immediately. I think for anything you throw on it, $500 was not only hard for us to do, but hard for us to recommend.
The overarching strategy with our build guides is that we try and make builds that we would actually purchase ourselves at that particular price point. And we basically came to kind of the consensus that there's not a $500 build that we would ever buy for ourselves. And so that's kind of one of the reasons we axed it. And also, like, so we still have the $800 build, and there are some fairly easy things you could do to shave off cost from that $800 build if you really are on a budget. But Brad also brought up this point when we were changing the guides, that at $500 there's actually some reasonable pre-built options that are probably honestly a better idea than going with a $500 custom build.
Yeah, we were talking about it, like sites like slickdeals.net. You can watch that all day, and more often than not, you will find a pre-built option that's like on sale or something that is cheaper than what you do with a custom build. I'm not saying all builds are like that, because obviously that's why we build our PCs, because in the long run, for higher end systems, you are going to be getting more bang for your buck building a PC. But if you're looking at $500, $600, you can get something pre-built. You know, whether that be from some Alienware or Cyber PC or something, I don't know, but you can find it.
Yeah, so we still have the $800 build, which is like a pretty good entry point for someone looking to build their first PC, or maybe someone on a budget. We moved up the two higher price guides by $100 and then $200. So the $1,400 build and a $2,000 build, which represents a little more diversity than those builds used to, because I think that $2,000 build is where a lot of people are looking to buy like a PC that will quote unquote future proof them for a few years. And that $2,000 build is basically like what I'd buy for myself. There's pretty much, I mean, that's like about what I would spend on a PC, and that kind of PC will last you easily 3 to 4 years, if not more, by maybe just changing out the video card after a few years. So anyway, check out the guides on the site. They're easy to find, but do check those out, and let us, give us any feedback if you have some ideas for for what you would do in your own build. We're going to try and put these out monthly as we used to do, so we'll keep those up to date as you guys look to build new PCs.
Yeah, so that is exciting. We talked about the build guides for a while, and it's
you always talk about go to the
I know,
site for
I
the
do.
build guides, and then we haven't had new build guides for a bit.
Listen, it was a soft form of pressure. I know, because I would know. I genuinely would forget, Brandon, that there wasn't a new one, and then bring it up, and always be like, "Yeah, we're looking into it." But they're on there now.
Well, the funny thing about the guides is that it's actually sometimes it's more work not to do a guide, because people will ask me, "Hey, I'm looking to build a new PC," and I'll end up doing a custom list for those people.
Yeah.
And it's so much easier to just do one guide and then point people to that. So I think we're finally back on track.
Got it. One thing we did skip here, which I didn't want to skip because we've got to mention this every time. Remember, guys, the Extra Life LAN is going on 8/18 through 8/20. Mark it down on your calendars. Mark it down on your goddamn calendars. Okay.
Do you have a certain memory you're maybe recalling about?
Yes, I do. I've put a lot of calendars on my head.
That seems coincidental.
That is, yeah. Generally, I'm scared to the point of having to put different cooking utensils and strainers on my head. So I know we talk about it every time, but just keep it in mind. It's coming up here. It's really not that far away.
Over 2 months away. It's not very far.
2 months away. So keep that at the forefront of your mind. We also got a new forum up on KBMOD.com. So go in there. I was actually just taking a look now at it, since I knew I was going to be talking about it, and it's looking pretty crispy. I like the style of it. I see some active threads going on there. So if you want to get involved, I know for some of you young kids, you might go, "What's a forum? I don't understand that." For real.
Yeah,
but
what's a forum? Is that on Facebook?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Is that like the Facebook things happening near me thing that I see? No, it's not. It's an old school method of communication that's still very valuable. So check out the forums. They look really good. Was that Poppy Sean getting all that together?
It was, yeah. I've been telling him about this new forum platform, and it's not done in a conventional way. It bumps it in a manner that, like, basically what has the most recent activity goes to the top.
Yeah.
So it makes it a little more interesting. Not as many clicks you have to go to view what's going on in the forum. So definitely check it out. It's forum.kbmod.com. Looks pretty slick. There's only a few of us in there, so we're just kind of testing it out. But obviously, we're opening the floodgates to all 35 of you listening right now. But yeah,
I think he's selling us a little short, but fair enough.
Yeah.
I think every listener has their entire family gathered around their laptop. So
yeah, exactly.
Oh,
so
well,
we have
35
35
times
listeners.
6.
That's the thing, is we only know the metrics per device. Like, presumably people are watching together with their family or listening in their car with their friends. So I mean, our reach is at least in the dozens.
yeah, one device they could be playing the KBMOD podcast in like a baseball stadium right now. Think about how many viewers we have.
Yeah, I mean, it's happened before, and we just don't have the metrics to reflect it. The limitations of technology.
All right, yeah, so definitely check that out. We've got a review on Vanquish up on the website. We've got a little article on the influence of Grand Theft Auto 5 on Red Dead Redemption 2. Really good piece. We've got an ROKH first look, which is an early access game on Steam. That's owned by Fake Ghost Pirate. So anyway, check out all of that content.
Can I just say, pretty solid week of content from KBMOD.
Just
Definitely,
gonna say,
if you haven't checked out the website recently, check out the website and the forum. Lots of good stuff there. I think we're trying to turn this back into a hub for PC gaming news and interest. So hop back on with us if you've been away for a while.
We're the grassroots news, information, and opinion that you trust. Man, I don't know if that's clean enough for
if you don't trust us, who do you trust?
Who do you trust? I mean,
we're the only ones that aren't bought yet.
Exactly. Yeah. Please buy us. Anybody? We'll sell out. I'll do dirty sock promotions if that's a thing. Used socks. We'll sell them. I'll do it. I'll do a read. Anyway. But yeah, no, you're right. We haven't sold out yet. I mean, personally, I've sold out many times, but I haven't been able to influence KBMOD to sell out yet. So that's probably probably good.
That's why we try and limit Scott's personal brand with regard to KBMOD.
Exactly.
Because his reputation does not reflect that of this organization.
Exactly. Yes, there's literally an emote of my face that says "sell out" on it in my own chat, and it's not even ironic at all. So, let's talk about the E3 press conferences that have already happened. As of recording this, obviously you're hearing this on Tuesday, so E3 will have been on for at least 3 days at that point. When does E3 end? Is it Tuesday or Wednesday? What does it go?
Well, no, it goes through Thursday, but the press conferences I think only go through Tuesday.
Yeah,
like
last one's Tuesday morning.
Yeah, the press conferences are front loaded.
Yep. Got it. So those will be over for the most part by the time most people listen to this. But what has transpired so far is we, of course, started off with the very illustrious EA press conference on Saturday. Did you guys watch that one?
Yes, I did.
Lots of notable. I was gonna say lots of notable things for me. I thought it was an absolute dumpster fire personally, but
I agree completely.
There was a few maybe gems in there. Obviously, we will have to talk about poor Jesse, the YouTuber, dying on camera. I don't know what was going on with the teleprompter. Twice, I think he called himself. He referred to himself as a YouTuber because he had the teleprompter freaked out. I mean, it's hard to watch. Listen, no matter what you think of somebody, it's hard to watch somebody die. Like live is so brutal because there's no going back. And you can see the moment that, his eyes as he realized the teleprompter was fucking up or he missed his cue. Like there's a moment of just pure panic. And to the point that the dev had to come over and try to save it. And he looked like he was about to cry. It was hard to watch. But honestly, a lot of watching E3 is to really embrace the cringe. So I do think EA brought it at a level that
that's kind of part of it. That's part of its charm.
It is the charm.
Absolutely. It's a big absolutely. And we're going to see that in full force tomorrow for Ubisoft. I can't wait.
Yeah. I'm excited. But things that were pretty notable, we don't have a ton of information, but BioWare has a new action adventure game franchise. Well, I'm assuming it'll be a franchise, but called Anthem that was teased. And what did you guys think about what we know so far on this? I mean, exciting though.
It looks great. I mean, that's the first impression I got. It's like, wow, this looks pretty sick.
Yeah, they showed some of it earlier in the Xbox conference too, and it looks nice. I mean,
it does look good.
We don't have a ton of details
when they said it was revealed that it's not like an RPG in the vein that they've made in the past. It's an action adventure game, which I'm not saying that there won't be. There's obviously going to be some progression and stuff like that, but it's not in this, the same kind of stuff they did in the past. So that actually interested me because I'm not as interested.
Yeah, it looks really fun.
Like I want something fast.
Yeah, it looks really fun. Sorry. Yeah, it looks really fun. Like the.
It looks really fun.
Does it look really fun, KB?
I think it looks really fun, and I'm like, what's happening? Okay, go ahead.
No, it looks really fun. Just some of the footage, just like flying around, like the environments. It looks like really beautiful. And yeah, I actually didn't see it at all. The EA Play, I didn't know it made an appearance, but yeah, EA Play, that was, oh my goodness. I mean, A Way Out looked pretty cool, and then they, as soon as they said we're gonna throw it over to iJustine, I'm like, all right, I'm done here.
Oh,
like
that was very.
I mean, not
Let's
just
not
because.
jump right to.
I was gonna say let's
Oh, no?
talk
Sorry.
let's talk a little bit about A Way Out, because that
hold
so
on.
Anthem
Okay, yeah,
Anthem and A Way
yeah.
Out are like the two new
Yes.
IPs that I don't think we knew about before, because there's Battlefront 2, which is kind of new, but A Way Out looks kind of cool. I'm not sure if this is a game that I am like super jazzed for, if only because like I don't know that I want to play a split screen game, but I kind of like that they're basically leaning in completely to this idea that it's like only played co-op.
Yeah.
Exactly.
The creator was talking, and this game's from the same person that did Brothers: A Tale of Two Sons, which I mean, I won't spoil that game, but that game does something that like it conveys story in a way no other like media has done, like without really spoiling anything. Like it just does something incredible in that game. And when the director was talking about A Way Out, he was saying that like after you play it, you'll never play another co-op game the same way ever again. Like it's going to change the way you look at co-op games. And a lot of people hear that, they're like, oh my God, this guy's just trying to hype it up. But I fully believe him after playing Brothers: A Tale of Two Sons. Because like, I mean, I know they're going to do something crazy with the split screen. Like there's going to be some twist to it. Where
Yeah, well, the one thing I saw in the kind of brief gameplay they showed that is, pretty unique is that it is split screen, and so like there were some examples where there was a cutscene happening for one player, like one side of the screen, and then the other player was still able to move and act. So it was like it's sort of this synchronous experience where your player may not be able to act, but the other player can still do something. That seemed kind of interesting. Like I don't think I've seen a game do that before.
Yeah, and they said it was split screen only, but I think you said you can play it online. It'll just be like a split screen appearing kind of deal for you and someone else.
Yeah, and I like just the passion that he came out with, man. And he was off teleprompter. He wasn't on it. Like it was just like clearly so excited about his game. And he was like, this may sound cocky. He had an accent and everything, but I'm not going to try to do it. Clearly I tried. That was awful. But he had an accent, and it was but he was so passionate about what he was trying to say, and he was kind of flubbing over his words. But it was like one of the few pieces of like, okay, this guy actually is pretty excited about his product. So I thought that was probably the highlight for me of the EA dumpster fire show, as they call it. But then we got into the Battlefield 1 stuff, which we'll talk about in the Name of the Czar, which again, I'm a little jaded on Battlefield 1 just because of how lackluster I felt like the DLC launch was for them after like waiting for so long for new maps and all this. And when we got them, they were super unbalanced, at least for a lot of the game modes of the game mode that I played. So I kind of like am a little burned on it, but I think overall, to be fair, I think it looks interesting. There's going to be, we're getting to play as the Russians. There's a bunch of stuff kind of in there.
I think it's only going to appeal to people who are already into Battlefield, because like it's new maps.
Right.
It's kind of like the Battlefield Bad Company 2 Vietnam. It's like better. Yes. It's more than that. It's better than that, but it's still it's like new maps, new guns, new vehicles, and a new game mode, right? And that's it. So it's like calling it. I guess it is an expansion, but it's just I don't know that there's anything super interesting there. Like if you're into Battlefield, then you're gonna play this probably, because why wouldn't you? But I don't know that this is like going to pull me into Battlefield because, wow, playing as the Russians, that's amazing.
Right. Exactly.
Enact your role play at long last.
So that's not terrible. And then we got into Battlefront 2, which we had of iJustine casting along with Golden Boy, and then one of the devs. And let me tell you, it was interesting. I mean, the game looks. So the one thing that I found fascinating about the whole Battlefront 2 stuff was they spent I swear to God, they spent 15 to 20 minutes shitting on the first Battlefront. Like, yeah, to the point that like, if I paid $60 for that, I'm like, Jesus, I got fucking fleeced by these motherfuckers. Like, I mean, again, in a way, it's good to hear a company admit that. I mean, There was because I think
But
there
they
was a
still
lot of
took,
people
they
that
still
felt
took
super
your money
let down.
though.
But they still took your money, absolutely. So it's like, what are they going to do? So it's like, we heard the community. You wanted more, more, more. You wanted us to give you an actual game that was worth $60, not, you know. And so I thought that was just kind of, it reminded me a bit of like the ad campaign. And again, not near as well executed, but like, do you remember when Domino's rebranded all those years ago? And we're like, we were terrible pizza for so long. And I still think they're fucking terrible pizza, which is ironic. But their whole ad campaign was like, they totally changed their logo, their stores, the way that they do everything from the ground up. And it was kind of like they're trying to do that. I mean, on a much smaller scale with like Battlefront saying like, we're adding all this. But then when it actually got to the gameplay, it didn't look, I mean, it looked beautiful, but to me, it didn't look all that different. Obviously there's going to be a lot more content. So I think that's what people are excited about. But what are your guys' thoughts on what you saw from Battlefront 2?
So for my first impressions was I'm pumped for the single player. I wrote some notes here saying that it is in collaboration with Lucasfilms and it's considered canon, so that's great. But for the multiplayer, the classes is pretty interesting, and they're bringing back some fan favorites that they had in the original Battlefronts, like the jetpack troopers and stuff like that, which is going to be really cool. I don't know. It just looked really great. I like that they showed off the original, like episode 1. I forget what planet that was, but just that, like, they're playing off the nostalgia factor. Obviously, that's all these games are, but I'm totally digging it.
Yeah, that map looked really cool.
And I do like that they're saying DLC will be free. So I mean, that's
yeah, but there is isn't there a catch?
They're going to do microtransactions.
Yeah, there's microtransactions for additional points, but you can get those points for just playing
by playing. Right.
Yeah, on its face, it definitely feels more palatable than season pass type strategy where you're asking people to spend even more money. I think especially that would have gone over like a lead balloon, given how the first Battlefront did. It looked interesting to me. I just it's very hard to tell from a little bit of that gameplay, like how that game will actually play time and time again. Because some of that stuff, the novelty factor is definitely there. It's like, oh, I'm playing a droid, or I'm driving, flying this, I'm flying this, this X-wing, or something.
Right.
Those cool things that are like neat and cinematic to play in a GameStop or something, like to play for 15 minutes. But I feel like I don't know. I don't think this game is going to have legs unless the gameplay is actually there and like fun to do over and over, kind of the way that Battlefield is. And I'm not sure that I saw that in that first look.
And that's what I'm concerned about, because I was actually watching Jack Frags' streaming today from E3 and playing it, and he was answering questions live. And he was saying that people were like, well, how does this compare to like Battlefield 1? And he said it's like a cross between Battlefield 1 and a more arcadey shooter. It's very, like, he was showing the gun spread and all this stuff. It's obviously meant for a more casual player, which makes sense, I think. I think Battlefront was too. And that, to me, is concerning, because that means that there's not going to be that much depth to the game, which could then lead to frustration for, like, because the people that are diehards, I'm not saying a Battlefront has to be like a diehard shooter, like even like Battlefield 1 to a certain extent, but that does make me wonder, because that was a lot of complaints with the first one too. Is like after the visuals wear off and the other stuff, it's like it's not really that fun to keep going back to. I mean, the player base shriveled up very quickly.
Yeah, well,
and is
also,
it different enough to separate itself?
If we want to talk about like the framing of how they presented it at that press conference, is they sort of tried to like esportsify it a little bit and have iJustine and Golden Boy and the dev like commentate over gameplay, which is just, that's like such a weird, I don't know, it's such a weird mismatch to me, because I don't think this game is not that kind of game, right? You just hit the nail on the head. Like it's for a slightly more casual audience, and that's fine. Absolutely. Right? That can be fine, but don't present it as if it's like this thing that's ready to be cast to millions of people live. Right. It just seemed like such an odd thing for them to be talking about this stuff when, like, clearly they don't know that much about the game. It's like someone crashes a plane or an X-wing or whatever into the building, and they're like, oh wow, that's I don't know. It's just the way they presented it felt kind of odd to me, given the style of game it is, and the fact that Battlefront had like absolutely no esports presence. I think I would have presented it differently to kind of match with the vibe of what that game is.
I think it's hard to cast a game like Battlefield, let alone a game nothing about. Like, it's not even out yet.
I think the perception would have been totally different if they would have had Snoop Dogg back from Battlefield 1 for Battlefront 2. I think completely changed the game. If he had a blunt there on the show floor and he was playing Battlefront 2, everybody would have been on board.
That's true. People would have been. No, I mean, I agree. I think it is. We are being very. I feel like most of us are being jaded. I'm fine with you being optimistic. I think I think for a lot of people, the single player is a pretty big deal. The fact that it's canon, I think that's going to sell it to. Like, I'm not somebody that gives a fuck about Star Wars, so that doesn't sell it to me. But I know people are super passionate. Yeah. Exactly. So I understand for you that's a big deal, and if it's a good, I'm assuming it'll probably be a pretty cool campaign. So I mean, that alone for a lot of people,
I think they can potentially win. They can potentially win some favor with people, because some people will see a good single player, like a canon single player campaign, as worth that $60 price tag, and the multiplayer is just an add-on. I just think that they have a lot of work to do to prove to people who want the multiplayer and don't care as much about the single player, like, to make it worth their $60. Because I think that's where it really fell flat for the first Battlefront.
Yeah, agreed. Okay. One of my favorite parts was Justine, when you talked about they weren't clearly, obviously, they're doing this hosting gig, so I don't know how much they got to see ahead of time, but they were talking about, literally, I'll have to find the clip, but they were talking about like the vehicles, all the different vehicles, and obviously like the airships and stuff like that, and the different tanks and stuff. And then she goes, okay, also there's ground troops, right? They cut to like a droid on the ground. I'm like, oh boy, this is that's what I mean, though. It just felt, like you said, it felt super kind of mismatched. It just didn't really make any sense. Like,
and I
they were literally trying to Golden Boy was reduced to phrases like, that's gotta hurt.
Yeah. And I feel for them too, because like that's not an easy job, right? They're doing the best they can, but that's why it felt so weird, is like they're, you don't have you don't have these people who like know a lot about the game already, can talk really intelligently about it. You're just like floating this out there that this unpolished gameplay is worth showing to everyone, as and putting out there. And I don't know that it was. I would have kind of preferred to see maybe something a little, I don't know, something a little more like
more like scripted, because the gameplay that they ended up showing of the people playing was not, there was very few notable, like they would literally switch to like a I don't know, like they would switch to somebody and he would die instantly, or like there wasn't too much. I guess the best parts were when they showed like Darth Maul and some of the other Jedis, Boba Fett and stuff. Like that was cool. But and then at one point they switched to one of the heroes or one of the Jedis and she died instantly. She got like shot by a droid in the head, and they're like, oh well, that's over.
Yeah,
so
I think I agree with you there. I think I would have preferred to see it a little more scripted, so we see more about what the game is. And I think just like throwing them into this like observer cam where you're just watching people who like are not familiar with the game play and probably play at like a pretty low skill level. I just don't. It didn't show me that much about the game aside from like, oh, okay, cool. There are droids, there are airships. Maybe that's cool, but it just didn't show me as much as I would have liked to see in that time.
Definitely.
And they also kind of threw to their mobile game afterward, and I was just like, oh my god, can we not?
So fucking terrible. The interviews outside with the mobile, and then the phrase "mobile game community is behind us" was one of the funniest things I've ever heard in my life. I just couldn't stop laughing. It's like, oh, the giant mobile game community that plays this obscure Star Wars game is very excited for the next chapter. Anyway, whatever. That's one of the best parts, is being able to just absolutely, have fun with the rebroadcast of the stuff. But okay, so let's move on from Star Wars. So Brad, you're cautiously optimistic, or you're excited? Where do you stand on Battlefront 2, real quick, before we move on?
To be honest, I'm probably excited. Yeah, I think really I didn't play. That's my thing. I only play multiplayer games if my friends are playing. So if people jump ship on Battlefront 2, probably not gonna buy it. But
Okay,
I don't know. Yeah.
cool. All right, boys. I know we've all been craving it, yearning for it. You know, I was just sitting today on my couch watching a shitty reality show, and I was like, man, I hope during the Microsoft presser they announce a new Xbox, because they have just been killing it when it comes to offering titles on their last generation console. When I think of massive game libraries and things I'm excited about, I think of Microsoft. But I'm like, I need more power. I need more teraflops. It's not enough. I need more. Well, guess what?
Well, I mean,
boys?
you want to watch your cooking show in 4K, clearly.
Exactly. I need 4K. I was watching it in measly 1080p. It's like, this doesn't cut it anymore. You know? Guess what? They have answered. They have answered my prayers and my thoughts. And the Xbox One X is, yes, that's the real name of it. I'm not trolling. Has been announced, and it is it's 6 teraflops of graphical power, thanks to a custom GPU engine that runs at 1,172 megahertz. Both these metrics put it noticeably ahead of Sony's PlayStation 4 Pro, which packs 4.2 teraflops, running at 911 megahertz, in a package that's $100 cheaper. So, you know, what are your thoughts on the new console? I guess
That was a quote, by the way.
That was a quote. Yeah, I don't think anybody believed I was just winging that, did they? I hope not.
Well, that's actually, little known fact, that's actually why we got rid of the $500 build in our build guides, is because, I mean, you can just get an Xbox One X at $499. So you right there, slides $1 in under our price threshold.
Can I just say, someone in chat just said, like, I don't even know what the fuck these numbers mean. And that is a great point, because if you don't know what these numbers mean and you're watching a pretty diehard KBMOD podcast, the average person who's watching E3, like, that's one of the things I love the most. I know some people will be like, oh, okay, like they can understand. Obviously, they don't expect you to necessarily understand technically everything that's going on, but it's just supposed to wow you. But they were just going on and on. Like, those were some of my favorite moments when they just keep talking about this beast.
Yeah, I think it was like, really obvious. It was really obvious that they were very self-conscious about how they currently compare to the PS4 Pro, and so they were like, I felt like, because I was watching this and I'm like, they're leaning into these specs that like no one actually cares about, but they've got to say it because they have to show that it's better than what PlayStation has. And it came off as a little bit desperate, I think, because you're right. Like no one should be coming up on a stage and saying the word teraflops more than one time.
No.
And that was said multiple times.
So do you believe that they say 4K resolution in 60 frames a second? Is that
when I heard that, I was like, no. Period.
There's zero chance.
No, there's no chance. There's absolutely no chance.
Come on.
Like maybe for first party titles, but you cannot say like guaranteed 4K at 60 frames per second.
Right.
I think that feels almost irresponsible to say with no caveats. Like you can say that about like one game, right? And maybe that's what they meant. I don't know. Maybe that's what they meant. Maybe they'll clarify. But you cannot say that for like the whole system is going to do 4K at a constant 60 FPS, because it's
what's
just
going to do 4K at 60 is the menu that you get to scroll through, like to look at your web browser and your other, your news section.
Like the thing is, it's just it's so truly ridiculous to even say that without laughing, because like the highest end video cards you can get today, right, which are $500 or more on their own,
right.
Some of those can sometimes run 4K at 60 FPS, right? Yep. Like depending on the game, depending on other factors, it's not even a guaranteed that you'll pull a solid 60 at 4K with a 1080. And so that when I saw that, I really did have to take a step back and be like, wow, that was a thing they just said with no caveats, and I don't believe that. I just don't.
Right. I mean, it should say up. You know what? The words here that they're missing are up to, because I have no doubt that if I'm staring directly at the floor, playing their latest franchise title, I can get 60 frames at 4K if I'm looking at it like a gray wall or. But yeah, like you said, like put the up to, because there's no way that that's going to be.
Or just talk about, you can tell me that like Forza is going to run at 60 FPS at 4K. That's fine. You can if you tell me like a game of yours is going to do it, fine. But just saying that like the system's going to do it, I think that oversold it. And
yeah, sure.
And I think again that's what sort of all in all made it come off to me a bit desperate, because it's like you can't just say that. You can't say that unless you're trying to say something and almost trick people into like, well, the PS4 Pro doesn't do 4K at 60 FPS, but they said the Xbox One X will. Like I just think it's a little bit deceptive. Like it's clearly not going to be able to reach that on the majority of games. Like maybe first party games.
Do you think this is because we've talked about this a long time when it comes to like Sony has absolutely decimated in at least this current generation with the PlayStation 4, and obviously a huge part of that is because of the game library that they have. And so like regardless of the fact that they're releasing this new Xbox with a terrible name and whatever, like the specs are decently impressive. We'll see what it ends up being. It's $100 cheaper than a PS4 Pro at the moment, but like, does any of this matter? Do they have enough titles to make this? And the other fact is, we're going to get into the fact that there's all these games. Someone in chat just pointed this out, but all these games are coming out for Windows 10 anyway. So why would you buy a console if you? Anyway, it just to me, it just doesn't.
If you're a PC gamer, like so much of this library is available to you already. So like for PC gamers, I feel like PlayStation 4 like will always be the console of choice, because that's just more games for you to play.
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
weird.
I don't think I've talked to anybody who owns an Xbox One that doesn't regret it. Like, or if they only have that and didn't buy the PS4. I was actually having a conversation with people in my chat today about that, about how like I bought an Xbox One and it's literally I use it to watch Blu-rays. Like that's it.
I mean, to be fair, it's like it's a pretty competent Netflix machine.
Or Netflix, yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So, what I hear a lot is, I bought it to play it with all of my friends, and then one by one, all of their friends will like switch over to PS4.
Yeah, it is kind of weird because I feel like Microsoft is in this odd place of having to kind of serve two masters, because you want to like sell copies of Windows 10, you want to lean into that, but then that sort of hurts your Xbox, because like when you say exclusive, you're mostly talking console exclusive. And so at what point is it not more useful to just like put $500 more into a gaming PC or something, like when the exclusives are going to be available on PC for the most part, and that's where you'd want to play it anyway.
It's just the excuse, like to me the whole argument of like I only have $400 or $500, it's like then just wait and be patient and save up more. And you can buy, I mean, we're talking about our build guides, but you can build a very competent PC that will run Windows 10 and have all these titles that used to be, exclusive to whatever Xbox existed at the time. Yeah, to me that's not a good argument. I mean, I understand some people prefer console gaming. That's wrong, but fine. But there isn't, like you said, the serving two masters thing is a great point, because at least in today, like there definitely was a time, I think, when we didn't have such access to PC parts. They weren't so cheap, but the day and times we live in now, man, just wait another, even if it's a year or whatever, to save up that money. You're going to be a lot happier in the long run.
Yeah. The other thing too is, I mean, that $499 price point is not cheap for something that really only plays games and like does Netflix and stuff, and is not a general purpose computer. And the fact that this is coming out, let's say 3 years after the original Xbox One, like if you bought an original Xbox One and then now you're going to buy the new one, that combined amount of money that you will have spent on both of those consoles will have bought you like a reasonable PC. And so I think it's weird, because if consoles end up being on this treadmill of like a new one comes out every 2 to 4 years, like it seems like it's going to do, consoles are going to, like the console gaming is going to become a lot more expensive, because you won't, like, you're not going to be able to stay on your old Xbox because you're going to be behind the times now. It's going to be like having an iPhone 4 today, which feels ancient. today's standards.
But I was going to say, do you think, because we talk about this, do you ever think that it's going to come, because these things are, I mean, obviously, they're PCs really running very locked down OSs, right? And then everything.
Well,
has
I
to be
mean,
approved
they've
and
even
stuff.
made the Xbox One OS easy for people already developing for Windows 10 to just carry over to the Xbox platform. So, I mean, there is some merit there to what you're saying. But go ahead. Sorry.
No, but what I'm saying is, do you think they'll ever get to the point where they will release like an Xbox? It'll be one Xbox that's basically like, let's say that's the case, okay? But they're gonna have components that are whatever certified and like the Microsoft version, but like you can upgrade even like, so let's say the CPU and the video card and maybe the memory, okay? And I know basically we're saying, I'm saying this though because people talk about now wanting to have to build something. But do you ever think we'll see anything like that where Xbox goes, okay, this is the Xbox, this is the shell, this is the form factor. You can change like these three things, but you
mean like a Steam machine?
Kind of, but the whole idea is that it's still certified. So it's like all the games and everything that run, all the hardware is still like, they approve it, and the games that run on the system, it's not something where it's like, will this run? It's like, no, if the games come out for this and you have this hardware, it's still, you know what I mean? Because some people are like, I don't want to play PC because I don't know what I can run and all this kind of.
Right.
I'm just wondering if we'll ever get to that point, because it does feel like we're starting to get to the point with these consoles where it just, they are getting longer and longer in between them, though I guess not really. Like you said, what was it for? How long is the Xbox?
No, they're getting shorter in between them. Like that's what I'm saying is the 360 lasted forever, right? If you bought a 360 back in the day, you got a ton of value out of that if that was your gaming machine until the Xbox One came out.
Right. No, I guess what I'm saying is now that it's shorter, and like, let's see if this flops, right? If they go like, okay, we put all this development time in and people aren't buying it because the time's too short and whatever else, like, will they just get out of the market altogether? Will they do something where they're like, okay, we just need to make one thing and then let people incrementally upgrade, and we'll just certify whatever software runs on it and all the games, and we'll call it, it'll just be the Xbox. I don't know.
I think the thing is that takes away one of the main advantages of consoles, in that they have these big milestones where that's how developers extract more performance on lesser parts, like lesser parts than we have in our PCs, because they're all going toward the same spec. And so the more that you fragment that, I think that basically the case for console gaming becomes a lot weaker, because then it's basically just PCs. It's a locked down PC, but you still get the challenge. You still get the challenges of like now. We've got to build toward all of these different specs, whereas the Xbox One X and Xbox One, that's still only two specs you have to build toward. But if you're now allowing people to change out parts, that would be a lot more. That would be a ton more dev work than I'm sure exists today. And then at that point, like, you really are just talking about a PC. So I don't know. I think we're probably a little ways away from that, but I don't know. Like, we could see console generations shortened to 2 to 3 years, and that's still a pretty quick turnaround considering the development timeline on some of these games. Like we were just talking about Anthem launches in fall 2018, so I mean that's like, you're still the games take a while to get made, so that it'll be interesting to see if console generations almost like outpace the development of games at some point, which would be a weird thing to happen.
Yeah, I'm fairly confident Anthem is not going to look that good when it launches on console.
Right. From what they showed. Yeah. No, yeah. I would say that's a pretty safe bet too. Would be pretty surprised. All right,
they announced one more feature for your Xbox One, which not really sure who this is for, but so as we all know, Xbox One, it's backwards compatible with a lot of 360 games. And they announced that they're going to bring the original Xbox games as well to the Xbox One, which I can't really think of like any original Xbox.
Well, it's
games
probably the only way you could play Skate today. So I mean,
Skate, yeah. Like
Tony
I'm thinking, damn, I can't wait to play Blinks the Cat. Can't wait to play drag racing or NASCAR 2003. I'll play the shit out of that on my Xbox One.
Yeah,
Like,
I
was
agree with you that I don't know exactly who this is for, except that
Yeah.
I almost feel like maybe the narrative they're trying to build here is that this is sort of what they tried to build originally around like TV with the Xbox One. They kind of leaned into like TV
Yeah.
features and over the top stuff. Maybe they're still trying to market that like the Xbox does more than a PS4, right? You can play Xbox 360 games, you can play Xbox games, you can do TV. Like I think maybe they're trying to market it as a more versatile console. And maybe that guy who's got a bunch of Xbox games sitting in a bin somewhere, like maybe this flips the switch for him to be Xbox instead of PlayStation. I'm clearly not that person, but maybe those people are out there. And the thing I was watching the press conference, and if I heard this right, I believe he said more than half of people like on Xbox One have used backward compatibility.
Yes.
Which I 100% do not believe unless they're taking like a pretty liberal idea of like that sample, because like it clearly can't be half of all Xbox Ones, but maybe they mean like if you've played a game recently or something. But anyway, that's a crazy statistic.
Why don't you believe that?
I do not believe that more than half of the Xbox Ones out there that someone has played an Xbox 360 game on that Xbox One. I own an Xbox One, and I have played games a small handful of times on it, but it is a Netflix machine, and so like that's why I just don't believe that. I don't believe it's like across the whole population. But regardless, I don't need to get into like semantics. If they're seeing data that says that like a ton of people who play games on Xbox One are using backward compatibility, and we saw it with what was it, Black Ops 2, I think. Or what was the backward compatibility game that got a big bump recently?
Black Ops 2.
Yeah, so like when they saw the Black Ops 2 that actually, made a big splash, I can kind of see this because they can see the data that says how many people are actually using it. If they see a ton of people using backward compatibility for Xbox 360, then this kind of makes sense that like why not lean into Xbox titles too? Like basically just if they can sell a marketing message that is like, any game you've ever bought on an Xbox works on this Xbox.
Yeah.
Now, maybe a lot more people want to buy them because a lot more people have those old games.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they kind of market 360 games now as like in like the packaging, it'll say we'll work on your Xbox One.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think it's fair to say that more than half of the people who own an Xbox One don't also have a kick-ass gaming PC, or I feel like a lot of people that have Xbox One are the kind of people that will stick with Xbox and like will refuse to switch to PlayStation and will have owned like a 360 in the past. So I think that's a fine estimate. I definitely believe that.
Also, let me posit a conspiracy theory out there real quick. What if this is just like Microsoft and GameStop have a blood pact? And like this, because like this is clearly GameStop. I wonder if GameStop's stock jumped. I haven't looked, but like this has to be the best news GameStop has had in an E3 in recent memory.
That's actually not even far-fetched at all. That's actually a pretty you should check that because I guarantee you. Like,
GameStop stock up by 3%.
Anything to save.
There it is.
GameStop has been dying for years, so anything that they could do to save themselves, I'm sure they would do it. So it's possible.
Yeah.
I would
cry
GameStop's like a hot topic or something like that.
I would cry if GameStop brought original Xbox games back into circulation.
Bring back Funko Land, dude. Fuck GameStop. Funko Land.
Oh, shit, dude.
Before he got bought by him.
R.I.P.
All right, so another game, Cuphead, has a release date, September 29th. And if you'll remember, Cuphead is a game that has like a cartoon of the 1930s visual and audio style. It looks beautiful. It looks like you're.
They've been working on this for so long too.
Yeah.
I just feel like
and September is a lot closer than I was like imagining.
Yeah, and it's a run and gun action game. Focused heavily on boss battles, side scrolling.
Mm-hmm.
It looks it looks beautiful. We'll see how it goes. But go ahead.
And I was pretty surprised to see that it's going to be releasing on Steam. Like I would have assumed they try to really. It's only going to be on Xbox One. It's not going to be a PS4, but they're not really locking it down to like the Windows 10 store. So I just thought that was interesting.
Yeah.
But,
Definitely.
cool. Someone else take this next game. I haven't touched Middle.
You haven't touched anything
Middle
about.
Earth.
Well, all I know is
No.
that it exists. That Middle Earth: Shadow of War got a little bit of a trailer, and it's basically Shadow of Mordor was a game that was pretty well priced. Did you guys actually play through all of that or beat that?
I have it, but I haven't played through it.
Yeah. So anyway, just info that is something that is happening. So if you liked Shadow of Mordor, Shadow of War is I didn't get a release date. It doesn't look like on this though. I'm trying to see if there is a release date. It says October 10th.
Right.
October 10th. So
I think a lot of people. I already saw a lot of tweets going on about this when they did the reveal. Some of the orcs or whatever, like were I guess like kind of snarky and fun and not fun but just different. And that's something they did really well with Shadow of Mordor is the character development with like all these randomly generated orcs. So to see that they're already showcasing just a little taste of that. And getting people interested is getting me excited for Shadow of War. So,
okay. And then this one. So, Life is Strange, boys. Life is Strange, the prequel, Before the Storm Hits, is going to debut this summer, and it's going to be 3 episodes on Chloe and Rachel. Which I guess if you didn't play the first game, it doesn't mean anything to you, but. Rachel was a girl that we never meet in the game, but we find out stuff about her, and I won't spoil it and say exactly what happens. But yeah, a prequel, and so this is exciting. Life is Strange is a game that is I would describe as low-hanging millennial trash, as far as like some people. Okay, so this is I have this very weird relationship with Life is Strange. As a game, it's actually pretty competent and it's interesting. I think the voice acting's decent. It's not a game that's geared towards my age group. Okay, I'll say that but apparently it won all kinds of awards. People loved it, and it is an incredible game to stream. But it is, I mean, if you play through it, I don't know how objectively you can be like, it's hilarious to me in a lot of ways, and I loved it for all the reasons that probably totally different reasons that a lot of other people loved it. So I have a love-hate relationship, but I'm very excited because it's definitely a game that I'm going to play and stream, and I'm sure I will get a lot of enjoyment out of it. Did this have this Katie? Oh, Katie's not even here. I was going to ask Katie because I think he played it with his friends, from what I remember.
I watched this, and it was just so much. Just it was definitely targeting like just hipsters. So much tribute to like Oregon. And
true, it does have it takes place in Oregon.
Yeah, and it was just the angsty teen that lives here in the Northwest. I just feel like it was specifically targeting that group. Even there's like an anarchy symbol in the Life is Strange like banner that they have on all their merchandising.
Yeah,
there is. I was like, oh my god, but I don't know. Should be interesting.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes. But so that was a lot of people were very excited about that. So, and I'm excited too. Again, I'm excited to play through it and probably mock it relentlessly, but it'll be a good time.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, for all its flaws, I enjoyed Life is Strange. And
I did too. I did enjoy it. Like, I don't want to make I actually did enjoy the overall experience, and I actually think the other thing I do want to mention is that it's going to be $17.99 for 3 episodes. And that was the other thing is the price point of the first game. I forget what it was. It might have been 24.
I think it was 30.
Was it 30? But either way, you got a lot of content. It wasn't a short game overall. Like if you did everything that you could do, have all your conversations or whatever else, it was like it was a decent amount of games. So for $17, like that's a steal. I think they come in at a really good price point, and it's a very competent game made in that kind of style of like, you know, your decisions affect. You know, it's I guess I would call it like Telltale games done not shittily, like Telltale does them. So
yeah, well, some of them,
yeah, some of them. All right,
I'd like to say my piece on this next one, but yeah, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Say your piece on this next one.
Oh yeah, well, okay, so they made a big deal at the Xbox conference about Minecraft, and On top of, I don't see this on the docs. I'm just gonna say they talked about how Minecraft is going to become like cross-platform across every single device, including mobile, which I think is insane. Which like even if you don't like Minecraft, that's an important step in cross-platform play. But one thing they showed off, along with Minecraft being, how they kept talking about it being Minecraft, they made definitely sure to talk about how that would be run in 4K, which, I mean, obviously you're going to be able to run Minecraft in 4K. Like, come on.
I missed this part of the conference.
They also, yeah, and at one point in the gameplay, they showed off some gameplay of, I'm not sure if it's going to be like a free upgrade you can get, but there's a certain like texture pack and graphic thing you can get that adds that it really improves the water of the game, and it makes the shadows look better than they've ever looked. It's basically, if you've ever gone on YouTube and you've searched like, Minecraft realism mod or like amazing graphics mod, it's basically this, but it's on console. And I can see how a lot of people, like, they have like, animated grass, like plenty of god rays everywhere. Like, it honestly, it looks really, really beautiful. And I could see how people seeing this would think, they're just taking PC mods and selling them on console. But I think if you don't have access to a gaming PC and all you've played on, if you've only been able to play Minecraft exclusively on console, then I think people would be really stoked if they're in that situation for this, because like, yeah, I mean, if I could only ever play on console and I was about to get this upgrade, I would be pretty excited. And I mean, I think it's for console gamers, they're in like kind of a different boat than, PC gamers who can just get this mod anytime. So I want to hear what you guys think about this.
Yeah, I mean, I echo your sentiments. I guess I'm happy for the filthy console plebs. I mean, I don't really think about them often, but no, I mean, no, I agree with you. I think it's good. I didn't really think about it like that. I was just kind of more thinking about the ridiculous. I thought Minecraft in 4K, but
yeah,
no, you made some good points about some of the other aspects of this.
I mean, I think there's a generous side and a cynical side to it, because I think yours is like the optimist side of saying, well, on console and mobile and stuff, they don't have access to mods, so Minecraft is a really different experience on those platforms. But on the PC side, I can't help but think that Microsoft wants to like capture a piece of the big pie that is like the Minecraft modding scene and all of that. And I worry that I think a lot of the educational value and like a lot of the fun of that game is that it is really easy to mod, and it gets, it like maybe gets kids interested in a technical career path that they wouldn't otherwise be interested in. And this is like just sort of my personal opinion, but like going in this direction makes perfect sense for Microsoft as a profit-seeking business. But I think dumbs down Minecraft in a way that like it becomes less accessible to just throw a mod in and play around with the files and do things. Like turning it into a community marketplace where you actually buy and sell, I'm sure will probably be good for some people. It will clearly be good for Microsoft because they're going to take a percentage of everything that's sold. And that's great. Mobile, console, maybe it becomes a more cohesive experience, but I think it loses some of what makes it such an interesting educational game today. Because it basically turns it into kind of another mobile game type thing where, hey, I'm 10 years old and I just really like, I have to have all these different mods. And so that I don't cry, my parents spend $50 on Minecraft mods. And right now, all those are free. Like my parent, the hypothetical 10-year-old me, my parent could just go install a bunch of mods, or maybe show me how I can install a mod, once I ask permission. And like that, I think it sounds stupid, but like I actually think that's a pretty important thing that Minecraft does, is like helping kids with computer literacy that they may not have otherwise. So me, as someone who cares about that and like slightly worries that the younger generation is not going to be as tech savvy because everything's like done for them by other people who have built the complex systems and the system looks super simple to them. I don't know. There's like you can't see the future, but there's a future where this makes kids dumber Whereas right now, I feel like Minecraft makes a lot of kids smarter because they're curious about how it works. They go and they look at mods and like they try and figure out how it works. And I don't think you'll get that with a community marketplace. There'll just be a button that says install, and you can either install it or not, depending on whether you have money or like a credit